Happy Friday to you. National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Getting ready for Power Pack weekend. Hope everybody is in a great frame of mind. Boy, are we going to make a prediction here today. We're going to start it out with tempered expectations here, though. Okay? Hey, by the way, Nick Saban apologizing? Kind of. Not really. But he kind of is. And now all the rest of these coaches around the country are piling on St. Nick. I'd be careful there with that one, okay? I might be careful. Piling on Nick, hey, remember something. If he puts you on the schedule, it'd be the greatest thing for your programs. Remember this. Before you start urinating on Nick Saban, you get television, you get money, you get exposure for your athletes. I'd be careful. Because I would want Alabama on my schedule. By the way, Alabama is on the Miami schedule. I want them on the University of Miami schedule. One of the things that made our program great back in the day was that we had Florida, the first game of the year. All the kids in the state of Florida who maybe couldn't get into Gators came to Miami because that team was on our schedule. I think one of the things that hurt the University of Miami the most over the last 25 years has been the fact that the Gators don't play annually on the Miami schedule. That has been one of the downfalls. So I'd be careful there. So we're going to hit on that a little bit. There is so much. Again, the National Football League, college football, dominated the headlines once again, even though the NBA playoffs have been somewhat decent. Okay, they have. I've enjoyed them. Actually, I've been enjoying. Did you see that game last night, Eastern Conference Finals? I mean, how about the Lightning? Less than a second, they get a goal and they beat the Panthers. Take a 2-love lead, then they send it back to their barn. That was unbelievable last night. He get blown off the floor by the Celtics. They're going to take that series. It's probably going to be Boston and GS Warriors for your NBA Finals anyway. Can I start the show out by doing this? Oh, and by the way, as promised, the top 20 NFL defenses going into the 2022 NFL season. The Big Sills top 20 defenses. I have them here for you. Where do the Eagles rank? I gotcha. And we're going to make a prediction that I don't think you thought Big Sills would ever make. Okay? I don't think you would ever have thought this. As a matter of fact, after serious consideration last night, I'm shocked I'm even going to say this. Here we go. But can I start this out before we get into the top 20 defenses and our prediction? Are we overhyping the Eagles? You think people are overhyping them? Are we overhyping this team? There's still a lot that has to play itself out before we know with conviction on whether or not the quarterback is the guy of the future. Can you have this much hype about a football team that you're not really sold 100% on with the quarterback? You're sold 100% on the quarterback in Buffalo, in Kansas City, Arizona, the Rams, the Chargers. There's places we're sold on the quarterback. This would be like you're not sold on the quarterback completely, even in Dallas. Can you overhype a team? Okay? Can you overhype a team still with the question mark at the quarterback position? What do you think? Are the Eagles being overhyped? Jeremiah, it's always overhyped until we play. Smile, maybe overhyping because Hurts most likely isn't it. No, just overhyping what Hurts is going to do this season. Chris, I haven't really hyped Jalen. I'm talking about the rest of the team. Econ says, I'm not pumping the brakes yet until I see a reason to. Okay, optimistic. Sure, we have unknowns, but man, feels good being an Eagle fan right now. Kyle says, stop being negative, Sills. We won 9 games last year. I'm not being negative. I asked you a question. And I'm starting to show with, are we overhyping the team? Wait till you hear what I'm going to say before you even say I'm being negative. I don't think you will say that any longer when I make this proclamation here in a couple minutes. W2, wait a minute. You don't really think Arizona's not going to give a $200 million guaranteed contract to Kyler Murray, W2? I wouldn't believe every single thing that I read. And by the way, one of the reasons why I'm getting my friend from Sports Illustrated, Howard Balzer, on to ask him that. They're giving him a $200 million guaranteed contract, I believe, before they even kick off in September. Okay? And I'm going to ask him about this Eagles team. Zach says, no, we're not overhyping. Hell no. Chalk it up sports. All the Eagle players have been quiet. True. They haven't talked spicy about what's to come. They're keeping their heads down, and they're going to let their work speak for itself in September. That's pretty true. If anybody who's been pumping his chest, it's been the GM. We are going to talk about this coaching staff when the players this year. Bring on September. Big Sills, we deserve to overhype the Eagles. We need a squad like this. Okay, Zach. For what it's worth, this offseason has been insanely entertaining, overhype or not. How about this? I think one of the reasons why we're in this space is because they've addressed every single thing that we talked about at the end of the regular season last year in 2021, right? They've addressed pretty much everything. Veteran wideout, edge rusher, cornerback, linebacker, even with Kaiser White. Then they get Nakobe Dean. Then they enforce the defensive front 7 by getting Jordan Davis. All the things that we were talking about. Then they get the future and Jason Kelsey and this kid Juergens, right? Pretty much every single thing that needed to be addressed. And by the way, you want to hear something? All of this has been done. You want to hear something crazy? All of this has been done, and there's still $8 million under the cap. Getting A.J. Brown, giving him $100 million. There's still $8 million. They're not going to be able to make too many more moves unless they restructure deals. But there's very few deals that they can restructure to get enough money to say, and go get another veteran guy if they need. But pretty much they've addressed everything. Thank you, Matthew. Embrea says cautious optimism is bullshit. Okay. Miguel, on paper, we look good, but looking back at the 2011 season, we had a dream team. And look how that went. Got to show it on the field. I agree with all that. Seth, happy Friday to you too, brother. Cap money for a safety? How he did work his match. Hey, guys, can I ask you one question before I move on to my top 20 defenses going into the 2022 season? And then my prediction. So this James Bradbury, you're telling me the New York Giants could not get a 6th or 7th round draft choice for him, and they just cut his ass loose and got nothing in return for him? You're talking about a Pro Bowl cornerback who's under 30 years old, and you cut the guy and you don't try to trade him? And don't tell me they tried to trade him. How do you not get anything in return? You're telling me you couldn't get for a premium position. I think just shows you how shitty the Giant organization is. You make Brian Dable have to coach this loser in Daniel Jones. Then you don't get anything for Bradbury? Nothing. How about this? Not even a 7th rounder? So what do? You cut him? How does that make sense? You got nothing in return for him? Nothing. You didn't even get a bag of Skittles. You just fired him. And you got dead cap money on it. You just let the guy go and you didn't even, don't tell me you tried, because you would eventually have at least wanted to try to do this. Get this. Keep him out of the hands of the Eagles. I would have traded Bradbury to someplace in the AFC, ate the money, and made sure the Eagles didn't get him. But that's not how it panned out. I mean, I'm like, why would you allow that? It just shows you how absolutely incompetent the Giants have turned into. I find it hard to believe, man. Nothing, right? Talking up sports, you got nothing for that guy? How did you allow that guy to land in Philly? The biggest nightmare for the New York Giants and the Commanders and the Cowboys is the incompetence of the Giants to have that guy go on the other, whatever you think of Bradbury. Now he's teamed with Darius Slay. They got the best cornerback duo in the NFC East. How did you let that get on there like that? Man, I mean, to me, I think that shows you signs of yet still things to come in that Giant organization, and they haven't figured it out. I would have traded him to the Seahawks. I would have traded him to the Raiders to get that guy as far away from the NFC East as I could have. And he lands in Philly. Incompetent New York Giant organization. I don't give me that they're going through transition with the new GM. And man, you get him out of Philly. You don't let him land in Dallas or Washington and Philadelphia in your own division. And you got nothing in return, and you have to eat dead cap money. Hoss. The Giants clearly are walking backwards. The only thing they've done right, okay, is fire Dave Gettleman. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the Eagles are doing everything right. Everything. Jalen Hurts and health are going to be the big topics of discussion as we move the Eagles into September and we move them into July's training camp. Okay? Transition is no excuse. I agree with you. You let that guy just roll through the building and you don't let anybody try to get a draft choice for him and trade. I would like this. It's not so much the 7th rounder, is that you had control of his destiny. Instead, the player had control of his own destiny, and he did it right. He took the Eagles, stayed into the division. Like I said yesterday, he probably doesn't even have to move his kids out of school. He lives in Jersey. Dude, he has 2 Pro Bowl years, okay? He was a Pro Bowl 2 years ago, had a crappy year last year. So did that entire Giant organization. That entire organization, they quit on the coach. They quit on the GM. That's why they blew the thing up. Okay? I'll give the kid a pass, and I think that's why Howie gave him a pass. 1 year, prove-it deal. $10 million. Congratulations to you. You took a $3 million haircut, but yet get this. It's not only a deal for James Bradbury to show the rest of the league he still has it and he's still a ball player. He's also gambling on himself. I'd want to only sign a 1-year deal. I wouldn't want to get tied up into a deal where the Eagles had me undervalue on the market, and I know I could have played better. Okay? I'm just saying, man. How do you let that guy land in Philly? Shows you the incompetence, again, of the New York Giants. Terrible front office. Terrible just to let that happen. All right. So we agree. There's a lot of hype going around this Philadelphia Eagles team. And I'm going to make a proclamation here. I thought about this hard last night. And I'm going to give you the top 20 defenses heading into the 2022 training camps, which is in July 27th, I think they report, if I'm not mistaken. September, obviously, is kickoff. Yesterday, we had the 9th ranked offense, according to Big Sills, and I put it in the entire 32 teams in the NFL. I thought it was too long, so we're only going to do top 20. Shows you right now the Eagles are in the top 20. Here we go. The top 20 defenses in the National Football League. Going into the OTAs, mini camps, and then into the July camp and into the regular season as of May 20th. The 20th ranked defense is the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Cardinals have some pretty good components there. One of the things, though, that dropped them down, they were better last year, is the fact that I don't really think that they've addressed Chandler Jones's loss. I still think they can stop people. I think J.J. Watt's a dude, okay? But the Cardinals are the 20th best defense in the National Football League. Number 19, I think the loss of Honey Badger has dropped the Kansas City Chiefs down into this position here. And with the loss of Melvin Ingram, it's going to be interesting to see how they use Chris Jones, the defensive tackle that they're paying $22 million to. They need to generate more of a pass rush. They've addressed it in the draft. We'll see. But you lose Honey Badger, your pass rush is going to – I thought Melvin Ingram, once he got into rhythm, he was more effective in that scheme of what they were asking him to do in Kansas City than what he was asked to do when he was in Pittsburgh. I think he was in Pittsburgh for 13 ball games. But when he got to Kansas City, they were able to move Chris Jones back inside, and they were effective on getting people on the ground. They've lost some people, and I think they also have lost position as one of the top 10 defenses in the NFL, and I think they're 19. The 18th ranked defense in the National Football League is the New England Patriots. I think the Patriots are solid. I wouldn't call them exceptional. I think they play the run well. I think they struggle when it comes to pass probe. Look at what the Buffalo Bills did to them. They destroyed that defense. A Bill Belichick defense was made to look like some amateur JV defense in that playoff game. Okay? So to me, I don't know. I think the Patriots are solid. I wouldn't say exceptional. 17, the Titans. You're always going to have a top-flight defense when you have Mike Vrabel as your head football coach. They're tough at the point of attack. I think they still lack pass rush. They're going to need more of a pass rush if they want to coincide themselves with their running attack and with their offense, who I also think a step backwards. I've got the Titans at 17. Even with the additions of Randy Gregory, Patrick Surtain, who had a great year last year and I think would have been the defensive rookie of the year if it wasn't for Micah Parsons in Dallas, I think the Broncos are the 16th best team defensively in the National Football League. You add Gregory to the mix, I think that unit has impressed me when it comes to the acquisitions that they have made. Now, the question mark will be, once again, putting it all on paper. At 15, I got the Raiders. The problem with the Raiders and the problem that the Raiders have had over the last 6 years, their cornerback play and their defensive back play is so uncommon to that franchise's history. The days of Jack Tatum, Atkinson, Woodson, players like that, Lester Hayes, they no longer can get guys on the ground in the secondary. They are very poor in the secondary, and they have not been able to fix that issue. in Las Vegas. The team does have a pretty good front seven. That kid Crosby can play. They're good in the front seven, but their back end, in my opinion, the Raiders have struggled on getting guys on the ground, and that's been a problem, like I said, for about 6 years with the Raiders. 14, this is really shocking here. The Steelers had one of the worst defenses in franchise history. It was one of the worst run defenses that I can remember. I think it even went back to the 50s. And this is with TJ Watt on it. If you want to beat the Steelers, run the ball on them. You run it right down their throat. And that's with Hayward in the middle too. The rest of those guys have to show up. Now, they've addressed a lot of needs in this here, and I think they're going to be better. But it was a shocker to see last year that the Steelers really did not have really an exceptional defense, which they're notoriously known for. So I got them 14th. We're doing the top 20 defenses in the National Football League. At 13, you got one of the best pass rushers in all the NFL in Myles Garrett. They are exceptional there with pass rushing. I think that group underachieved a little bit a year ago. I think the quarterback put that team so many times in issues where they couldn't throw themselves out of trouble if a team scored on them quick. Their quarterback hurt them a lot and hurt the defense's field position. I think the Browns are better than what they did a year ago. Now, again, it's one thing to sit there, and this is a great example of it here. You can have all the talent written down on a piece of paper, and you can look at all the names on the back of the jerseys here. But at the end of the day, if you're not productive enough and you're not in a position where you go out and produce, then again, it's one of those conversations that we always have where we're overhyping a team. That's why I asked you about the Eagles. Do you think we're overhyping the Philadelphia Eagles so far? By the way, just so you know, the Browns have a top 7 offense and a top 13 defense. That can win the Super Bowl. When you have that combination, you're talking about Super Bowl contenders. Number 12, the one thing that I think that Brian Flores and Chris Greer really did well under their tenure was the fact that they built that defensive side of the football up. One of the better pass rushing groups and very underrated when it comes to what they did in stopping the run. I think the Dolphins have a pretty good group. Their linebacking core is really good. Not that you have to be exceptional there, but they're good in the back end. I'm telling you, man, the Dolphins really have done a nice job. Now, they've got to figure out the offense. They've got to figure out the quarterback. You know, the Dolphins and the Eagles have a lot in common. If I were to look at both of those football teams, Dolphins and Eagles, I would say they're pretty compatible. Okay? Question marks at the quarterback. Receiving core looks great. Pass rush looks better. I think the Dolphins have a better pass rush than the Eagles do. Linebacking core could be pretty even. Cornerbacks, definitely the edge of the Eagles. What's up, Michael? Appreciate you coming aboard. Number 11, the Indianapolis Colts. I have it number 11. You know, 2 years ago, they kind of resembled the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles a little bit. Both groups were great. Do you know that 2 years ago, the Colts had a top 9 offense and a top 9 defense? That's how you win Super Bowls. Okay? And that was one of the ingredients that gave the Eagles the opportunity to win that Super Bowl, even with the transition at quarterback after injury. Okay? So, to me, this Colts team, again, they're going to be improved with the quarterback play. Okay? They're going to be improved. But when you see what they did a year ago, you can blame Wentz all you want. You can blame Wentz all you want for that Jaguar game, but they kind of gave it up themselves also in the last quarter pole of the season. Here are the top 10 defenses, according to Big Sills, in the National Football League. At number 10, the Philadelphia Eagles. I've got the Eagles at 10. They've improved personnel-wise dramatically. My question will be schematically. Do they have the right D coordinator? Is he the Bobby Fischer that's going to be able to put the chess pieces in the right place? Does he know how to check people? Does he know how to checkmate people? Is he knowing the things that are going to be thrown at him? Is he going to be a situational play calling defensive coordinator that's going to be able to use the assets that's been given to him? That's still a question mark. You know what's changed with the Eagles here? The pressure is now on the coordinator. Because last year, we could blame it on personnel. Didn't have a pass rush. You had to play that stiff defense. You didn't have linebackers. You had to play that stiff defense. That's not the case anymore. You've got to start putting these components in place. Brandon Graham yesterday coming out saying that we're going to do things and we're going to air it out, so to speak. We're going to let it go. I'm paraphrasing here. Okay? Well, I think you have top 10 personnel. Okay? Zach, look at that. The Eagles are ranked 18th in 2021 in defense. I got them a top 10 unit now. So know this. When I say that the Eagles are 10th, I said the Eagle offense was 9th. You have 2 units in the top 10. I'm going to make a prediction here in a minute. Number 9, the LA Chargers. Too many great additions. Joey Bosa is a complete defensive end. His brother's better, Nick. But to me, when you add people like Khalil Mack and you put people, okay, in a position right now where you're adding, and you got Derwin James back there, dude, the things that Tom Telesco has done with that defense, I got to tell you, if in the NFC, the Minnesota Vikings are going to be a dark horse for me, the Chargers are going to be a super dark horse for me to win it all. I think they have all the components to win it all. Xander says if Gannon has a jockstrap, they could jump up too. Absolutely. Absolutely. If he starts bringing pressure and he starts utilizing the people that he can, dude, these are just starting gates. These are the horses once they get into the start gate here. You're at the start gate at 10 in my eyes. Could that improve? Absolutely. Especially the biggest improvement for the Eagles is going to be at the quarterback position. I know everybody thinks it's going to be in the front 7. It's not. The front 7's going to be affected because of those 2 dudes back there at the corner positions. CB 1 and 2, dude, affects everything else in front of you. I'm going to make a prediction here in a minute. Number 8, as usual, the Baltimore Ravens. They just get after people. They got so many talented players on that side of the football. I thought they gave it up a little bit at the end of last year, though. Okay? I think the whole thing fell apart after Lamar was not in there. And I think the defense was put on the field a little bit too much. And I think you started seeing some really, bad calorie stats being thrown against that Baltimore Ravens because they were on the field so much because there were so many 3-and-outs. But the Ravens have a lot of talent. Number 7, the San Francisco 49ers. Pass rush is great. Linebackers are good. Back end is great. Nick Bosa is the second best defensive lineman in the NFL. And I'll tell you what, it's not close to Aaron Donald, but it's Aaron Donald and then Nick Bosa. And then it's the other guys. He can play. Nick Bosa will eventually be, in my opinion, I think he'll be the best defensive end, okay? He'll be the best defensive end and best defensive lineman in the NFL, probably in 2 or 3 years from now. He's a young kid. I got the Bucs at 6. Todd Bowles is still going to run that defense. Vita Vea's back in the middle. He'll be healthier. Their pass rush has got to Shaq Barrett and them dudes. My opinion, they got a lot of components on that Buccaneer team. So the Bucs are 6th. Remember this, Bucs have the 6th best defense and the number 1 offense. Yes, they're Super Bowl contenders. I got the Cowboys at 5. Maybe too high. I think Michael Parsons is going to be better. I think their defensive front 7 is not bad. I think their secondary is good. Diggs, in my opinion, is the wild card, believe it or not. I think he takes a lot of chances. The Cowboys, of all the teams that I've put in the top 10 here, have the greatest chance to fall out of the top 10 after the first 4 games. I think the Packers, they just sink down their defensive back, making him the highest paid defensive back in the league. I think they have a great pass rush. I think their linebacking core is great. Their secondary is great. They drafted well on defense. I think they see what's coming, that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be there maybe in 2 years. They're going to try to win some ball games on the defensive side of the football. Number 3, the New Orleans Saints, adding Ty Matthew, Honey Badger, plus what they did a year ago. Dennis Allen may not be a great head coach, but Dennis Allen, in my opinion, okay, I think he is a great defensive coordinator. I think that Saints defense is 3rd best. Hey, and for the record, the Eagles took it apart. The Eagles took that Saints team apart. Number 2, the Rams. You got the best lockdown corner and the best pass rusher in the NFL. And it was apparent in the Buck game, and it was also apparent in the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald made the play of the game. He made the play of the game. Okay? And that secondary did a damn good job with Raheem Morris being a defensive coordinator. They did a hell of a job in that Super Bowl against, especially in the second half against Joe Burrow. Buffalo Bills, number 1 defense in the National Football League. They had Von Miller to the group. Von was such a factor for the Rams, too. I think the best roster in the NFL is the Buffalo Bills. I think they're the best. Okay? I think they're the best. Here's your top 20 defenses again, from 20 up. Cardinals are 20. Chiefs 19. Patriots 18. Titans 17. The Broncos 16. Raiders 15. Steelers 14. Browns 13. Dolphins 12. Colts 11. Eagles 10. Chargers 9. Ravens 8. 49ers 7. Buccaneers 6. Cowboys 5. Packers 4. Saints 3. Rams 2. And the Buffalo Bills are number 1. This is quite an improvement for the Eagles. This is quite an improvement. Everything's on paper. And again, are we overhyping? Okay? Are we overhyping? Ronald, the Bucs linebackers are exceptional. Exceptional football players. Shaq Barrett didn't have the year I thought he would have. A lot of those guys kind of walked back from that Super Bowl season. I'm expecting a better performance this year. Remember something, Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady are going to handle the offense. Nothing's really going to change dynamically when it comes to Sundays for the Bucs. I expect them to be better. Okay? Jeremiah says that the loss of Gregory will affect Micah. You know what, Jeremiah? That's why I'm saying this to you. You've got to see, in my opinion, how they move him around. I think there's going to be more lateral movement on Michael Parsons, which means they're going to situationally put him in different positions. And I think they're going to utilize that. I don't think you're going to see him in pass coverage all that much this coming. I think he's a decent pass coverage linebacker, but why would I put that guy in that position? If I was an offensive coordinator, I want them to have him in pass coverage and not rushing the passer. Why would you take him out of his top skill set? That makes no difference. It makes no sense to me. Here, let him cover the tight end. Why? Put someone else on him. His impact is going to be getting to the quarterback. Jones, yeah, I got you 10th. Yes. I take either Bosa or just about any D lineman, except for Donald. Except for Donald, okay? Except for Donald. All right, I'm going to make a prediction. And I'm going to set the bar for your Eagles here. Howard Balzer from Sports Illustrated will join us in hour 2. We're going to talk all NFL, and I'm going to ask him about these Eagles. He writes for SI, and he puts a list of the top 32 teams prior to the regular season together for Anthon. I think he does Lindsay, and I know he does one for SI. Where do the Eagles rank in his eyes? I'm going to tell you the prediction that I'm going to make next. Do me a favor, hit the like button. We'll come out with that proclamation next. You keep it right here on the National Football Show.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on that. Can you
search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Please hit the like button. God, we have – look at this. I want to show you guys something. Look at how much we have here to hit on. I mean, amazing. We just gave you the top 10 defenses heading into training camp in July and into the 2022 NFL season, and I said that the Eagles are 10th ranked. I'm going to get to my prediction here in a second. One thing that was a big story yesterday was the Saban and Jimbo Fisher argument going back and forth. I'm going to get to my prediction in a minute. Hang with me here. I want to show you guys something before we move on here. Here are the top 5 nil evaluations. Top 5 players and how much money that they're going to make this year. You want to know what their salaries are? These are college kids. Okay? These are college kids. You want to hear who the top 5 are? Listen to these salaries. And Bama's got 2 in the top 5. So when Nick's talking, he's not talking to Jimbo Fisher or Deion Sanders. He's talking in generalities, and he used them by mistake. That was his mistake. He wasn't directly talking to Deion or to Jimbo. They took it personal. Saban shouldn't have done that, and that's his mistake. But listen, number 5 highest paid college player, Spencer Rattler, South Carolina, $1.2 million, quarterback. $1.2 million. He makes as much money as Jalen Hurts. Did you hear me? Spencer Rattler has the same salary as Jalen Hurts. And he plays for the Gamecocks. I know he did, Chris. It was a mistake. I said that. His mistake, I'll do it again because some can't hear, was calling guys out by name. But he was talking more about the game instead of the player. But the player got it butthurt over it, and he shouldn't have said that. Nick's talking about the game, not the player. People took it wrong. No, I didn't. Spencer Rattler makes $1.2 million for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Number 4, Will Anderson, Bama. $1.3 million for a linebacker. He signed more money, and he'll be paid higher than Kaiser White was. 1.3. Wow. Number 3, Caleb Williams, USC quarterback, $1.7 million. He makes more money than Jalen Hurts. And he transferred from OU to USC. Number 2, CJ Stroud, Ohio State, $2.5 million. Do you know that he makes more money than Gardner Minshew? Gardner Minshew is the highest paid quarterback on the Eagle team. He makes more money than Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts. College quarterback makes more money than a professional football player. Put that in your brain and move it around a bit. CJ Stroud makes more money than any quarterback you have in Philly. Right, Zach, Eastside Monster. How insane is that? The number 1 highest paid college football player is Bryce Young. Bryce Young will reportedly pull in this year with nil valuations, $3.5 million. This guy is making $3.5 million. He makes as much as Jalen and Gardner Minshew combined. That's why college coaches are in an uproar right now. You got Bryce Young, who makes more money than every quarterback in the Philadelphia Eagle locker room. And Right. And Nick's complaining? Look at those salaries. Jesse goes, I'll take Jalen over all those quarterbacks. That's not the point. Hey, nobody's saying that. It's not the point. The point is, these guys are being paid more. Shit, Spencer Rattler is 5th. He's 1.2. That's what Jalen's making this year. I want everyone to have that context. Why these coaches are starting to finger point. Because you know why? There's a bidding war going on. There's a bidding war. You see that the wide receiver who won the Biletnikoff Award just landed at Southern Cal? You think that was free or cheap? Hey, Xander's right. If I was Corral or Willis, why in the world would you have come out to get drafted in latter rounds when I could have won games and made myself $2.5 million, then went into the draft? Well, maybe because you know why? Hang on, because there's 7 kids that are going to go in next year's draft, and they'd probably be pushed even further down in the rounds. It's probably why it was probably smart they came out, because there's going to be 7 kids that are going to go into the NFL draft next year that are projected to go in the top 32. Think of the money, man. Why do you think you got college coaches now starting to bark like never before? Oh, my God. That's a great take, Kevin. Arch Manning? Oh, my God. Arch Manning. When he decides where he's going to play, okay? Kevin, I think he's narrowed it down. Bama, Ole Miss, Tennessee. Clemson, I think, is still in the mix. Okay? And do you know what they have at Clemson? There's a group called PTI, Promised. It's what is it? There's a group they have, Promise to Pay or something like that. They have one of the best alumni in the country. Okay? Jesse, thank you, brother. You must be in Boston. That's when I was talking sports up in Boston. What do you think Arch Manning is going to make when he decides to go to a college with that name Manning? Arch Manning will probably make $5 million a year in college. Think of that. $5 million a year. This guy's going to make as much money almost as the first rounders that go into the NFL draft. Wow. I forgot about Arch. 20 to 30 for 3. You imagine this? Arch Manning's going to leave a college with $30 million in his pocket. $30 million. Wow, man. And Chris asks, is the Manning kid any good? He's the number 1 ranked recruit in the country. He's the number. I think he's Cooper's kid. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's Cooper's kid. And he's supposedly the number 1 recruit in the country. John, this kid's going to make a ton. This kid's going to make a ton of dough, man. Plus, he's got the Manning name. Good night. All right. I can't believe I'm going to do this. You know, I gave you the top 32 offenses yesterday. I got the Eagles 9th. And today I told you that you had the 10th best defense going into the 2022 season. Are you guys ready? Here's my expectations. Here are my expectations for the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles season. I'm going to ask you one more time before I do it. Are we overhyping the Eagles? I want to ask you one last time. Are we overhyping the Eagles? Matt says 14-3, Big Sills. Thomas, I don't think they have the money for Bates. Thomas says possibly. Yes, and that's okay. No, man. They deserve the hype. Hurts to win 21. No. F no. It's almost like I don't want to do this. Maybe this is where Big Chris is right. Sileo wants to root against it. We're not overhyping. You're at gaming. You're at $7 to $8 million up against the cap. Hurts MVP. Call it. I think the Eagles win the NFC. There, I said it. I think the Eagles win the NFC. My biggest question mark is the coaching staff. No, the NFC. Xander just asked me if I'm stoned. I'm checking. W2 goes, NFC what? Do you know any other NFC? I didn't say UFC. Ask Siri. You're high. Wait a minute. You have the weakest schedule. You have the weakest schedule in the league. Or next to the Cowboys. You've upgraded at every single position on your football team. You have a top 10 offense, a top 10 defense. Isn't this 17? Hey, I tried to do everything I could last night, and I called people up and I go, am I over the line by saying that the Eagles can win the NFC? And they go, East? I go, no. Win the NFC. I did everything in my power to not say this. Am I wrong? Joseph, where the hell is Big Sills? Get this imposter out of here. You want my DNA checked? This can't be the same guy. Kevin goes, I'm with you. Pipe dream. Best, watch this. You have one of the best O-lines and best D-lines in the NFL again. Blink 3 times, Sills. If you're in... Okay, so wait a minute. When I'm being positive, you shit on me. When I'm not being positive, there's no pleasing you. How far into playoffs? Well, unless there's another playoffs, I think winning the NFC means getting to the Super Bowl and getting to Glendale. Tony says they definitely had a chance. They definitely have a chance. Big Sills is on LSD. You're not over the line. Jones, what? Sills, you've convinced me. Break out the cigars. No, not yet. These comments got me. Yes. Welcome to Philly. That's crazy. Better than Tampa? I think the Bucs last year didn't look great at the end of the year. Rams? I think they're going to play the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Watch this. Do we not think they're a Final Four team in the NFC playoffs? when you're a Final Four team, then we're talking about the war of attrition and health. Are we not? How about this? Do you guys predict the Eagles to be in the Final Four teams at the end of the year? God, if you get into the Final Four tournament, anybody's got a chance to win the national championship, Super Bowl. Okay? You don't know how injuries are going to play a factor, and they always play a factor. Hey, watch this. They may play a factor with the Eagles, and the Eagles season goes to shit. How about this? If the Packers lose Aaron Rodgers for any extended period of time, they're a 7-10 football team at best. If Brady gets hurt or anything, he loses time, that's a 9-8 team at best. Tony goes, I can't believe what you're saying. How much are the Eagles paying you? Believe me, I'll hear it from these guys. Oh, now. No. All it took was a phone call from the Bob Lang, you think, called me and said, hey, we'll be all good if you pick us to go to the Super Bowl. Sills, I just popped open a beer in your name. Thank you, Jesse. I'm not saying that. We've seen Rodgers come back and go on a win streak. Delusion, Sills, Kareem says. Am I over the line here? I have predicted the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC. You know this is going to get national headlines. As soon as Xander posts this is going to be all over the place. I'm predicting the Eagles to win the East, and I'm predicting them to win the NFC and get to Glendale. Dan, looking healthy and good on you. Have a great weekend. Dan's on their payroll. Jeez. Sills, he's okay, guys. He's not high. All just shocked after what he's been saying. No, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Sills, you sound like Alshon Jeffries when he came to the Eagles. Not one, not two, not three. That's why you need two really good quarterbacks in today's NFL. Dan's afraid of lawsuits. Sills is now a cap hit on the... Oh, man, I can't retract it either. God, I don't want to say that. Man, I did not want to say that. Oh, Dupree, God, do I want to retract that? Can I get a mulligan? Now you can't leave. Says, now's you can't leave. Oh my God. Oh my God. So Tracy Rocker, what? You just got a box of Eagle shirts at the front door. Oh, man, Zach, I did him. I did every... Oh. Sills, when do you get to see the contract Howie's offered? And when do you sign it? You guys are... Sills, your laugh is making... Hey, Jenkins, I can't, because I'm finding this very hard, this segment. I'm finding this very difficult to get through here. I'm going to ask my friend Howard Balzer from Sports Illustrated at 4:30 Eastern. Oh, my God. Oh, I can't. I have predicted the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC. Oh. We're also going to take a look which division. This impacts my prediction. The best divisions in the NFL. After the draft and free agency here, I'm going to put them in order here. Also, do you think Devontae Smith's numbers will suffer with the addition of A.J. Brown? Yes, folks, I did something here. Hey, Steven, Sileo's predict. Oh, no, this will be in every publication. Dan Sileo on the National Football Show has predicted the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC. Not the East, the NFC. All right, hit the like button. We're going to hit on more topics. My friend Howard Balzer, I'll ask him if he thinks they can win the NFC. He writes for Sports Illustrated. He's a Hall of Fame voter, too. One of the most influential guys in the NFL. He is on the board of directors of the NFL media. Okay? So we'll talk to him. We'll talk to you. Unbelievable. Hour 2. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Hour number 2, National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Happy Friday to you. Our Hall of Fame voter, Howard Balzer from Sports Illustrated, will join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll get his take and spin on what my big proclamation is today. I believe that the Eagles are now in position to win the NFC. You didn't hear anything else after it. The NFC. And I see some of your comments over here. A month removed from Sileo is too hard on Howie. Now you got him going to the bowl. Howie paid some guys to punk you. Oh, my God almighty, man. Ronald, if they get out to a 4-0 start, I'll throw the wood around again. We've been mooched. I have a question, Big Sills. D-Train seems to talk about our first 3 picks. Who do you see most likely being a bust? See, look, D-Train wants me to go down the negative route. And he wants me to pick. See what he's doing here? Hey, Sills, who do you think's going to suck? And when I can see, there you go. That's what we like. You see, man, there's people in Philly that like misery. D-Train, you're one of them. See, I'm an optimist. Nothing rattles me. Nothing gets me upset. You know? Chris is like, Sileo really wants out of Cali. Man, don't you know that? Holy cow, man. Can you imagine if I lived in South Philly? Everybody'd be parked out in front of my house like I was a Supreme Court justice. Hey, man, seriously, right? If I lived in South Philly, you guys would be up front of my house like I was a Supreme Court justice. Sileo sucks. Way to go, Sills. I couldn't tell which week. Oh, I could always tell which week it was. Oh, man. Beers at Sills' place. Now, that could be. I'm good with that. You did hear. Now, hey, man, I know. I can't believe I made the prediction. You got in my opinion, you got a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. How the hell does that not put you in the Final Four? And God knows what can happen. Guys, are you seeing something? Okay, so wait a minute. So you are predicting the Eagles to get to the divisional round this year, aren't you? That's one less round in win. Do you understand that? You don't think you're just getting to a wild card round, right? You're expecting the divisional round. And if you win the divisional round, that's the conference championship, right? So I'm predicting one more win than you. I don't, because I'm predicting one more win. No, I said it. Just football common sense, right? Wait a minute here. So you guys are expecting the team to get to the wild card round? That means you don't win the division. That means you're 9-8 again. Oh. But that's not what you've been telling me. So if you win the division, you're going to play in the divisional round. Then you're going to play in the conference championship. What am I doing that's so over the line? I'm predicting one more win because I'm assuming you're saying they're going to win a playoff game. Jalen has to win a playoff game to keep that job for next year and the years after, right? Oh, Brian says I'm setting a trap. You set a nice trap. Oh, so you think that I'm doing this. You win the NFC championship, or to Big Sills' eyes, it's a failure. I like that angle too. 2 more wins? I gotcha. Trust the process. I gotcha. I did say win the NFC. It is 2 more wins. That's Jerry Jones. He sets traps. Super Bowl party at Dan's house. Ken. If the Eagles get to the Super Bowl, you'll be at my friend's place in Phoenix at the Hooters places. I can promise you that. Okay? And and get this, the guy, you want to hear something crazy? The guy who owns the Hooters places in Phoenix is a Hurricane, and he's an alum, and he went to school with me. Uh-huh. Wait. Sills is baiting is like Skip Bayless trying to do this for his cow. Whoa, I'm not baiting anything here. What's your floor for this team, Sills? NFC East champions? NFC title game. Yo, Dan, I need to invite you to a Super Bowl party. Putting a Hurts jersey on my wall. Okay? I don't know about a Hurts jersey, but I promised I would. I promised I would. Bill says 13-4, first round bye. Jesus criminy, man. I got you winning the NFC. Xander's all over it, too. By the way, this will be plastered everywhere, just so you know. If the Eagles listen, you know the dorks in the media listen. Yo, Sileo, you need to put the Jerome Brown hat on when you talk on this channel. I'm going to do that. I will put the Jerome Brown hat on. I will. I like the JB hat. I will. Is that better? I'm with you. Ruiz, I'm with you. Joseph, now that Sills picked us to win the NFC, we won't even make the Dude, you are a Philadelphia Eagle fan through and through. Okay? You are an Eagle fan through and through. The guy put the here. I can hear South Philly dude doing this right now to me. You ready? Great. You ruined it. You put the reverse juju on us now, dog. What do you mean? What are you talking like that for? You put the reverse juju. You screwed everything up. Now it's out. No good. You can't do that. You put the reverse juju. Oh. Big Sills jinxes. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, hey, you know one thing you don't want when you're a sportscaster or you do this, what I've been doing for 30 years? You don't want to do this. Everything you say turns to shit. That's what you don't want. Because, hey, you just do not want that. Because then they'll be going like this. Get that guy out of here, because all that guy does, you know what he does? He brings the place down. Easy, Carl. Definitely a reach. Tell him to buy us some. Ruiz, I don't think it's JEW. I think it's more JU, like Juju Schuster, not Juju. Hey, I don't think Juju spelled J-E-W, J-U. I don't believe it's J-E-W. Beans. I don't believe it's Juju. It's Drew. Oh my God, my stomach's killing me. Holy shit, man. Juju? Huh. I was surprised my algorithm hasn't shut down. Oh my God. Oh my God, Jordan. Juju. No, not JW, dog. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to rank the divisions. I'm going to make this argument for the Eagles winning the NFC even more compelling for you when we put all the dots together here, okay? Let me gather myself after that one. Oof. Oh, hey, real quick before we do this, you see what the NFL and how the hypocrisy works in the NFL now? You see that they got a judge? Hey, they got a judge. Let me see something here. Hang on for a second. They got a judge. Hang on here. 2:30. We sent link. Thanks, bro. Xander did all this already, so it's all good. So did you see they got a judge listening to Deshaun Watson? I'm going to determine whether or not there should be punishment, you know, because I'm a former federal judge. Dude, Roger Goodell's the guy swinging the hammer here. That's optics. Okay? That's just optics. Roger Goodell's making the decision on whether or not this guy's going to be suspended, not some judge. That's just to look good. That's the optics for everybody to say, well, you know, there's a federal case going on here. Dude, he's already been exonerated. He hasn't been found guilty of any charges whatsoever. He's been totally exonerated. But they got to make it look good. Okay? Oh, they got to make it look good. I mean, I gave him the wrong time. 8 p.m., I mean. Okay? Yeah. It's just a case here where you're looking at it and you're going like this. Deshaun Watson's probably going to be suspended six games at best. Okay? Okay. Hey, Xander, do me a favor. Make sure that we confirm this with Howard here. He's breaking my stones over here for 4:30 Eastern time. Okay? Just please do that for me. Jesus, criminy. Oh, Dan, put all the dots together. That's racist. I never thought about it. Okay? I never thought about that, man. Okay? Maybe you're right. All right. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to rank the top 8 divisions. Okay? In the NFL. Okay? Here we go. And I'm going to add up all of our arguments this offseason on why I picked the Eagles to win the NFC. Okay? I think the worst division in football is the AFC South. I think the 7th best is the NFC North. I think the 6th best division in football is the NFC South. I think the 5th best division is the NFC East. The 4th best division is the AFC East. The 3rd best division is the AFC North. The 2nd best division in football is the NFC West. And the NFC West. And the best division in football is the AFC West. Really, your 2 best divisions are out west of the Mississippi. AFC West and NFC West. So the NFC East is the 5th best division in football. So let's put this in perspective here. You got the 31st weakest schedule. You got the 5th best division in football. Okay? The NFC is not strong at all. You're going to be one of the 4 best teams at minimum making it to the Final Four. You've upgraded at every single position of need in the offseason with quality football players. How are you not in the conversation? How about this? Would you give me this? 16-0-1. Let me guess. You tie against the Washington Commanders and Carson Wentz at home. God, that would be a nightmare. Even a tie would be a nightmare to that team, right? And Carson. Okay? I didn't say you win the Super Bowl. I didn't say you win the Super Bowl, okay? Okay? Yeah. I love Xander, man. What else do you need? You guys have it. You guys have it. You're set up to win the NFC, another NFC title. Wow. Yeah. So my prediction is this for this team and Howie Roseman this year. Well, you're going to take victory laps all around the room and all around Philly and New Jersey, and you want to go up and down 95 with the Philadelphia Eagle parade bus again. This is where we are here. Okay. 13-4. Win the East. Win the NFC. Play in Glendale. Probably against the Bills. Ryan, I say you play the Bills. Ruiz, thank you, man. Funny stuff, dude. Funny stuff. He is our lovable troll. Is that how you see me, Vape? Vape, that's how you see me? Ugh, I'm offended. By the way, I think that's racist. Are these Eagle fans or fools? W2. Wait a minute. I got a beef to pick with you here. Okay? You get on my shit when I'm dumping on them. Then when I say something, and believe me, I didn't want to. You were right. I didn't want to. But I'm not going to deny it here. Super Bowl, whatever Sills is having, I'll take 2. Do you win it all, Sills? No, I do not. You're not better than the Bills. Bills for the Eagles mascot, James. Oh, what? So you're going to put me in an outfit, what, like the Philly Fanatic? Oh, and by the way, we dispelled that rumor or that thought that Kurt Schilling hated Philly. That's not what he said. He actually loved the fact he pitched and played for you guys. Okay? Fellow Sicilian, tiny island, tiny green pool. That's because we pee in it too. Italians pee in the pool. I know, Tony, we can't help ourselves. Because, we piss where it's ours, Hey, this is my pool. You don't like it? Don't come in it. Score prediction. How about if I pick Powerball numbers for us first? Okay? How about if I pick Powerball numbers before I pick the score of the NFL Super Bowl? Joseph says I'm flying with Sills. Now you think we're not better now, but when it's time, Diggs won't be there. Brian says the question is, can all 53 men get on board with the coaches? Brian, that's my biggest concern this year. Is clearly going to be the coaching staff. It's no longer the players. Well, I'll take that back. It is Jalen, but it's the coaches too. Dude, my biggest concern is Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon now. You know, something that Xander said. Something that Xander said to me the other day. Xander, you're dead right. You know what he said? Dude, how we can't put a helmet on or a mouthpiece in or put on spikes. He's put everything in front of these guys. He's upgraded the defense. He's upgraded the offense. Okay? He's given these guys – seriously, look, when you're a military guy and you're given all the weapons to go win a war, I'm using that metaphor here in respect to our military. I know it's a game, but dude, when you give me all the components to go out there and fight something and go out there and not leave me shorthanded. Remember one of the things you guys now are still saying this. Yeah, you know, the free and strong safety position. I'd like that. Dude, you're looking for the perfect team. That's in Buffalo. Okay? That's in Buffalo, or to some extent, maybe in Tampa. Okay? But I think Tampa's age is going to catch him. You know, Tom Brady fights the age. I'm not even talking about Brady. I'm talking about the other guys on the team. Okay? I'm talking about the other dudes. You know, Brady beats Father Time, and he does it every year. I'm not going against him against Father. I'm not even talking about Brady. Okay, so, I mean, Eagles 24, Bills 31. That Bills team's awful good. Ginger probably beats us twice. Sills is Lucy holding the football, and we are Charlie Brown. God, man. Ye of little faith. I'm giving you guys I'm giving you guys as much love and all that I could possibly give you, man. Sills, don't make me call Cowboy Bob Orton. I love that guy, man. He's a great dude. Ole Anderson's the dick. I think the only players even remotely close to being a down position, Anthony Harris, Miles Sanders. You're a dog, Sills. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming in here, man. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button, guys. You guys have been great. So, hey, guys, watch this now. So you got a top 10 offense, top 10 defense. Schedule sucks. Division's mediocre. What are you thinking? How about this? Let's do this. Let's ask this negative question. You have enough depth on the team? You think you're deep enough? How about this? You want to hear something even crazy? You're deep at quarterback. Catastrophic injury happens to Jalen. Season's not over. Boy, how about this? Does this team remind you in how it's been constructed of the 17 team, except for one thing? The experience at the coaching position. Well, I don't know. What did you think of Doug Peterson prior? What did you think of Doug Peterson before he won the Super Bowl? How about this? May I ask this question? Were there question marks about Doug Peterson going into that 17 playoff run? Tell me locally on how that was transpiring and how people were talking. Were they doubting whether or not the coach and Frank Reich and those guys could win a Super Bowl? Were they talking about that? Were they worried about the coaching staff? Did they have question marks about Doug going into that NFC title game and then going into the Super Bowl against Bill Belichick? Okay, so all of you were saying unproven. Okay? It's kind of what you got here. This is exactly what you got here. You got an unproven coaching staff with limited experience at best. There's not a lot of veteran experience in the coaching. Actually, you want to hear something even more remotely a concern? You got marginal experience, and you got less experience in your coaching staff than you do on the field. Maniac, how you doing, brother? Everyone was worried about the quarterback position. Isn't that funny? We're still doing it. Six years. We've been still doing this. Okay? Howard Balzer's probably going to kick me in the head here. Okay? He's probably going to kick me in the head when I say this here. Howard, I made a prediction here on my... Howard can't hear us yet. All right. Let's see if we can get the volume here fixed up here. Let's see if we can get that done there. Where am I missing this? We're going to get Randy Cross on too, maybe in the final hour. Just give Hurts time. Hurts will have the. It's going to be really all on Nick Sirianni here, in my opinion. This is really going to be on Nick here, man. There are coaches on the field in Kelsey. Ed says, I think there's still a question mark, okay, with Dougie P. Well, we'll see. And hopefully we're going to be able to connect here with our friend Howard Balzer here. I don't see the Bills getting by divisionals. Dude, the Bills are going to win the AFC East. Oh, you don't see them getting by, Jesse, you're saying, the divisional round. I think they've upgraded, though, because they added Cook. Okay? They added Cook in the backfield. Okay? I think they're better. And they've also added Von Miller as a pass rusher on the other side. I think that's going to be effective. I don't get excited for all season since the Dream Team. Fate, that's cool. Okay? Do you think Allen takes a step back? I do not. I think he continues to improve. I think he's getting better and better and better. Why would he take a step back? I think they've added more components around him. I think they've really done a nice job around him. Okay? Let's get over here to my friend Howard Balzer from Sports Illustrated. Howard, I made a prediction on my show, and I want you to tell me if you think I'm crazy. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC.
I'll tell you why you're not crazy. Because I don't look at the NFC and see a clearly dominant team. Certainly most would look at Tampa Bay, would look at the Rams, would look at Green Bay just because they have Aaron Rodgers, even though you don't know what that receiving core is truly going to look like. And I just completed Lindy's magazine for the year and had the Eagles winning the NFC East. So just by virtue of that, win your division, get into the postseason. Of course, the Eagles were in the postseason last year. But if you're good enough to win your division, then to me, you have to be in the mix for a team that could, roll off some wins. I don't know that it's likely, certainly, but I don't think it's crazy to say if things go well for the Eagles like they think it might, then they could definitely be perhaps, pretty good competition for those other good teams in the conference. And it's not that strong a conference. I mean, you look at the AFC is loaded like it was last year. Look at the NFC, and who do you really have? So, yeah, I don't think that's crazy. I wouldn't make that prediction, certainly, but like I said, it's not a crazy one.
Because I think what you just said, if you're in the Final Four,
right?
I would say this to you, Howard. We know this. The war of attrition is going to tap its hand on someone's shoulder. Yes. And it's going to do that because it always does that, because that's what the NFL is all about. Significant injuries here. I mean, look at just going back to 2017 with the Eagles. Everybody thought in Los Angeles when Carson Wentz got hurt in that Rams game, that was going to be it for them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Foles steps in. Circumstances happen. That miraculous catch in Minneapolis. You had injuries during the postseason. They go on with the Philly special. I mean, so if you get to the Final Four, and what they've done in the offseason has been remarkable. Just give me your sense of guys who have really done a great job in the offseason. Andrew Berry in Cleveland did a great job. Joe Douglas in New York with the Jets did a great job. What they did in Denver, but Howie Roseman's got to be at the top of that list.
Yeah, getting A.J. Brown, obviously. Certainly their wild card is going to be Jalen Hurts. I mean, is he good enough to go the distance? And then will he be good enough to win playoff games? But the point you made about being in the Final Four, even just in that first round of the playoffs, I mean, I think it would be a stretch to say certainly they're going to get the home field advantage. So if you're in that first 6, but you're a division winner, you have a home game. And hey, I mean, that won't be easy. Certainly if, who knows, 2, 3, 4 seed, whatever it is, you're going to be playing a pretty good, possibly a pretty good wild card team. And I think, Dan, I mentioned that the NFC isn't strong overall, and that's because of a lot of question marks with teams. But I'll mention 2 others in the same breath with the Eagles, and that's New Orleans and Minnesota. And I think the Vikings with a little fresh look of things, a little more offense orientation from coaching. And as long as Kirk Cousins doesn't, what the bed, then they could be, potential playoff team. And New Orleans, heck, they were 5-2 when Jameis Winston was healthy. And we know how good their defense is. I think if Winston can play pretty solid for an entire season, they could challenge Tampa Bay in that division. So, yeah, I think that while there's not as many really top teams that some might want to define as elite, whatever word you want to use, there might not be as many teams at the top like the AFC has. I think you have a good group down there that you get in. Like I said, you get in the postseason and anything can happen.
Yeah, the question mark in New Orleans will be Jameis Winston because, like you said, I mean, you had Honey Badger and you had Jarvis Landry on the other side of Michael Thomas. And Kamara and that's a pretty good-looking unit there. It's not Sean Payton making play calls any longer, but they've got a really great organization. Mickey Loomis does a nice job along with the Benson family running that team, and I do think the Saints could be a surprise football team. Tell me something on this James Bradberry move, though. So a guy who made the Pro Bowl 2 years ago, he's like 27 years old, and the Giants don't get anything for him. They throw him out and fire him, Howard. The worst thing happened, in my opinion, for the Giants, the Cowboys, and Washington. You allowed a guy to stay in the same division, made a Pro Bowl 2 years ago. The Giants were a train wreck last year organizationally with Dave Gettleman. How do they not even do this? I'll take a 7th rounder, take some of the money and eat it, and put him in the AFC somewhere so that doesn't come back to haunt me. I mean, I think it's more of a symbol of where the Giants are right now than more so than that the Eagles were able to land that guy. Because now that he's on the other side of Darius Slay, they got the 2 best cornerbacks in the NFC East.
Yeah, and I think in terms of a trade, maybe the Giants would have been willing to eat a little bit of it, but they're eating a certain amount just on the cap because of where his contract was. And so because of his number, then they probably just didn't want to add to what they're already taking the hit on the salary cap with having to paying some of his base salary. And so that ends up being the deal. And who knows, maybe Bradberry balked at some of it, although there's only so much you can do in a situation like that. But he ends up making, a pretty savvy move. He still gets pretty good money on 1 year. And then next year he becomes a free agent at the start of the offseason, which he can parlay that into another long-term deal. So a good deal for him, good for the Eagles. But I think from the Giants standpoint, anytime you're dealing in these big contracts, it all comes down to what you're going to pay. I mean, what the heck? Everyone was looking like Baker Mayfield was going to land. You talk about a good job Andrew Berry did, but I still think there's a lot of serious questions about everything with Cleveland. And so they didn't want to pay too much of Mayfield's contract, which prevented him from going possibly to the Panthers right around draft time. And now they're still sitting there with that money, with that situation, with that whole, the whole distraction of it. And I don't minimize distractions in the NFL. And I know there's all this, ignore the noise. You can't pay attention to the chatter.
No, I agree.
But when it's there on a daily basis, then that's something to deal with. Now, granted, it's not daily yet because it's still only the offseason. But there's a team that doesn't even know if Deshaun Watson's going to be available to play. And so all of a sudden, now granted, they looked at this as a long-term deal. and they were willing to live with whatever the NFL it comes down on them. But man, if he misses a whole bunch of games or it keeps lingering, then they might. I don't know if they'll be ruining the day that they did this deal. Who knows what the future looks like? But certainly in 2022, this still has a real good chance of imploding on them.
One of the teams that the Eagles could potentially play in the playoffs, because you mentioned wild card, would be those Cardinals. And you mentioned noise. Is that noise too loud around Kyler Murray? Do you think there's going to be a guaranteed $200 million or north of $200 million deal put on the table for Kyler Murray in September by the Bidwells?
I don't think it's going to be north of 200 guaranteed. That's
you don't see a Watson deal then on the table.
No. In fact, I don't. Who knows if we'll see another Watson deal? Although to a degree, Dan, that's overblown, because if you're getting a 26-year-old quarterback, whatever the age is, at that stage of their career, and you're guaranteeing 5 years, well, you already know that this guy can play. Well, he's going to make his money. You can have non-guaranteed money in the 4th and the 5th year of his contract, but the odds are he's going to get paid that money anyway, whether it's officially guaranteed or not. So to a certain degree, the guarantee for a quarterback is overblown. But having said that, I think with Murray is a little different situation. I don't think that they would, guarantee all that, because I think there's still something that Kyler Murray has to prove in terms of not only, obviously he's shown he can play at a high level.
Do you think it's a 3-year deal?
3-year, I could see it. Yeah, I think even in a 5-year deal, you'd probably guarantee, a whole bunch of money in the first 3 years. So I think that's doable. I think it will happen. It's been relatively quiet recently. It could stir up a little bit next week when the Cardinals start OTAs, and we'll see if Kyler Murray is present. Certainly if he's present, that will at least stop the speculation. If he's not there, then it'll all begin again. Well, what's going to happen here? But I do believe, and the Cardinals have said this from the very beginning of this craziness that started back in February, that, hey, we're going to take care of him. To what level, obviously they're not saying, but he's our long-term guy, and these contracts are somewhat complicated, and it'll get done in the summer. And they've said that from the start. And Steve Keim said it again on draft day. As I've said all along, we believe, we have every anticipation of this happening in the summer. Now, does that mean before? I would think that means get it done before camp starts, because you certainly don't want it lingering into training camp, because who knows what Kyler Murray does then. So, but yeah, how the deal looks, I think, if you guarantee 3 years at 40, then, that's in line with a lot of guys are got, and that's probably what they would have to do. And it would be a question, will Kyler Murray accept that? That's the question that, that has to be asked. But I would think from his standpoint, guarantee 3 years, and then it's on you. Prove that you are everything that you believe you are. And the last 2 years, we talked about this, he has not been healthy at the end of both those seasons. And it wasn't the only reason, but it contributed greatly to how the Cardinals performed down the stretch each of the last 2 years.
I would say this, and tell me and correct me if I'm wrong here, that this has got to be the Cardinals' best offensive group and groupings that they have had there, maybe since Kurt Warner was there. When you're talking DeAndre Hopkins, availability will be still an issue with the PED case out there, but Zach Ertz, now you get Hollywood Brown there. Connors was decent in running the football. The O-line, I would think that probably was addressed in the offseason a little bit. Kyler's health, obviously. Is there optimism there with that Cardinal team that they can go far and maybe even contend against the 49ers and Rams to win the West?
Yeah, they definitely believe they can contend. And
I do too.
Yeah, and two guys. Now, you said availability would be an issue with Hopkins. It is an issue because he's going to miss the first 6 games. And this team comes out of the box with, let me get this here, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Rams.
Wow.
Which is not an easy, obvious. Of course, there's no easy schedules.
And he struggled without Hopkins in there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They had, although when he was out the first time, Murray didn't play, and they went 2-1 with Colt McCoy at quarterback. So at least for this one, they have a plan for it, and they could be planning for game 1 up, all the way from now up until September. But here's 2 names I'll throw out there that key the optimism that you didn't mention. One is Rondale Moore, who was hurt a little bit down the stretch, but was a big part of their winning in the beginning of the season. And then he wasn't used as much, and there was a variety of reasons for that. They anticipate using him a lot more, taking that slot spot that Christian Kirk occupied last year. And then the real wild card is who they drafted in the second round, the tight end from Colorado State, Trey McBride. Because I see a lot, maybe not a lot. I see certainly in the first 6 weeks, perhaps without Hopkins, a lot of 2 tight end sets, taking the pressure off and opening things up for Brown, for Moore, for AJ Green, for Connor, who showed himself to be a pretty good pass catcher last year. And so, eyebrows were raised when the Cardinals drafted McBride in the second round. Say, oh, you just traded for Zach Ertz. Well, yeah, he's going to be 32 during the season. And so this is a way McBride can spell him. You can, like I said, you can use 2 tight ends at the same time, along with whatever combination of wide receivers you're going to use. And so, yeah, they are confident that certainly they'd like Hopkins to be out there because that would make them even better. But they feel they can get through that stretch because of the talent of those other guys that they have.
Finally here, Howard, what's with this judge that's sitting in front of Deshaun Watson, and why this rouge of we have a federal prosecutor determining whether or not behavior is the issue here, and that she's going to recommend punishment when you and me know this? Maybe it's because you and me know how the NFL works and the public doesn't, and this is more so for like Halloween and masquerading here. Roger Goodell's making the decision here. This lady's not making this decision on Deshaun Watson. Why the rouge like this? Is this, again, just for public perception that it's supposed to be impartial?
I think it's a certain part of that, as people, if they don't remember, they should, that the investigator in the Ezekiel Elliott situation recommended no discipline for him, and yet he was suspended anyway. And so you're right. Roger Goodell is going to do what he wants to do, unless there's something truly, absolutely compelling in what the investigator says that makes Goodell stand up and say, well, maybe this isn't as bad as it looks. But that's hard to look at this situation and say it's not. Maybe who knows? I mean, no one really knows except Deshaun Watson and the women involved. But the wild card in this, obviously, Dan, has been said numerous times. We're not dealing with one allegation. We're dealing with 22. And so how do you minimize that? I just think that's pretty difficult to do. And that's why I think I was alluding earlier that the Browns, they have to be sitting here wondering what's going to happen, because I would think that the NFL wants something decided when they, not the NFL wants it. Roger Goodell wants something decided by the time training camp starts.
July.
Hey, it's only fair to the Browns and Deshaun Watson to know. And what is that going to be? Is it a suspension of X games? Is it being on the commissioner's exempt list until it all goes away? Hey, if it's that, he might not play this season. But what that could do would be really to compel Deshaun Watson to figure out a way to get this all settled, because that would truly put the pressure in his court. So we'll see. I mean, we probably should know in a couple of months, because, man, it always seems crazy, doesn't it, Dan? We go through the offseason day by day by day, and all of a sudden we're saying, hey, only about 2 months and training camps are going to be open in the NFL.
Absolutely. July 27th is right around the corner. And I agree with you, Howard. He stained the shield, and players, they pay for staining the shield, whether it's criminal or not. You pay for staining the shield, and that's why the commissioner's there. And so we'll see how this whole thing plays out. Howard, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you doing this. Thank you, as always.
Always a pleasure. The only thing I'll ask you, Dan, before I go is, are you counting? I mean, I know you were counting it all anyway when you played. You must really be counting it what it would have been like if there was NIL when you played, eh?
I say this to you, and I tell everyone this. There'd be a pizzeria called Big Sills. I'd have a golf course, okay? I'd have $40,000 in my pocket. Oh, wait a minute. I was at Miami. You got to always remember I had it anyway.
Exactly.
But now I could just make it legal, and I can make it public.
Totally. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Dude, and I get this. No, hey, before I let you go here, check this out. Spencer Rattler's making $1.2 million. He's the 5th highest paid college quarterback at South Carolina. He makes more money than Jalen Hurts. Will Anderson this year is going to make $1.3 million. Linebacker, going to be one of the top 5 picks in the draft coming up. Caleb Williams, USC, $1.7 million. CJ Stroud, Ohio State quarterback, $2.4 million. Bryce Young, $3.5 million at Alabama. Saban's got two guys in the top 5, and he's bitching.
And and you know what's going to blow this up? If it ever, what's going to blow it up is when all this money becomes ill spent. Here's Spencer Rattler. I mean, he had the world by the tail last year at this time, right? And what did he do? So that's going to happen, with a bunch of these guys. And all of a sudden, some of these boosters are going to be saying, hey, this is a little different than just sliding a few bucks under the table. We're spending this much money, and the guy didn't perform. That's the thing that could blow this up eventually. But, man, it's going to be a wild ride until then.
Absolutely. Howard, thank you, my friend.
My pleasure, man. Take care.
You got it. That's my friend Howard Balzer from Sports Illustrated. Don't forget Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. That means this. They do not get paid unless you get your fair compensation. And finding an attorney if you're hurt or injured on the job is one of the most important things that you can possibly do for your family. That's right. For the people, it's not a slogan. It's who they are. It's what they do. And for the last 30 years, they've been doing this, getting that fair compensation at $13.5 billion for all their clients. With over 800 attorneys across this country and offices in Philadelphia, New York, Florida, the army of attorneys do not look at little fender benders. When it comes to Morgan & Morgan, no case is too small, and they are the biggest casualty firm in the United States. They will not be intimidated. The call is free, 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The consultation is free, 800-512-1600. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really. Don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left. Fake a mom. Mama, go up, mama!
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
I've been throwing up in my mouth. Been throwing up in my mouth. Hit the like button, like Vape says, please. Thank you. I'm getting text messages from you're not really picking the Eagles to win the NFC. You just heard Howard. He puts all these publications together. What, do you think I bring some stiff on for you? Howard Balzer does all like the Lindleys and all the major publications, Sporting News, Sports Illustrated. He does all these predictions and puts these magazines together, and he doesn't even think it's that far out of the realm that the Eagles could win the NFC. I find what I said incredible. So you're telling me we have a puncher's chance. Brian, do you think you're a Final Four team? You think you're a Final Four team in the NFC this coming playoff run? Do you think you're a Final Four team? Delete that segment, Cells. I'm not. And no, I'm not setting it up to do this. Oh, see, I picked them to win. And they fell short. Okay? And they fell short. Xander says scheduled to premiere at 6 p.m. on JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. Tune in all for Big Sales replay prediction. You think I'm crazy here with this? How about this? Let's do this. If Jalen Hurts plays 18%, 20% better, 20% better, do you think you're in the NFC Championship game? With A.J. Brown? Okay, wait. How much of an impact do you think A.J. Brown has on Jalen Hurts? You ain't going to play the Bucs. How much do you think A.J. Brown, okay, how much do you think he impacts Jalen Hurts? 20%? Better? The improvement of Devontae? We're going to hit on that here in a minute. Okay? Oh, my God. Don't tell me Calvin McGee died. Don't tell me Calvin McGee died. Kevin says, Jerry Jones will be calling you. At least 20%. Okay. Xander running with that take. Don't worry, I'll get killed by it over the weekend. And people be Sileo said that. I'm predicting it, and I'm going to stick to it. Okay? I'm going to stick to it. I think they win 12 ball games this year. I think they win 12 ball games. Let me ask you this, though. Do you believe, and we'll reset at the top of the hour. By the way, I believe we're going to have Randy Cross to talk a little college and pro ball from CBS Sports in hour number 3, the owner of 3 Super Bowl championships. And I'll ask him what he thinks of the Eagles. So we'll get our boy in hour 3. We just sent him the link, so hopefully he'll be able to join us in hour number 3 as well. 3 Super Bowl championships. How's that, man? Right? Dude, That guy played on one of the greatest dynasties in pro football history in that 49er dynasty, and he played with Joe. Reyes says this, 45% more impact. Sileo made a deal with Stephen Jones. Yeah. Hey, Dan, who do you think will win their first playoff game? Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz? Wouldn't that be crazy if Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts played in the NFC Championship game? Oh, my God. And it's at the link? Yeah. Oh. Chris is like, hey, throw Sills a lifeline. The dude is sinking, man. 215, no worries, Sills. I said the same thing about Hurts months ago. That's all needs to be is 15. Hey, dude, I'm just saying this. If that guy improves 15 to 20%, don't you think you win the NFC? Who do I think will win their first? Well, obviously, I think Jalen's going to do it because I think Jalen's going to get to the Super Bowl this year. Boy, it even sounds funny. It even sounds funny. You know, Vegas is seeing the Eagles move. This is kind of where I got it from, too. I checked the Vegas guys. Do you know that Jalen Hurts went from 4,000 as an MVP candidate last year? Now he's 1,800, and I think it's even down to 1,400 that he could be the MVP this year. That's drastic. That's drastic for Vegas. Okay? It's drastic. Yes, Ruiz. Hey, Ruiz, I do like your juju beans, but juju, not, you know. Jeremiah going, Sills, what the F? Why are you doing this, man? It's 1,200. It's down to 1,200. Well, dude, that improves the football team. You just blew my mind. I say you guys are going to win the NFC. The schedule, the division, the improvement. Okay. Name me a team in the NFC that improved more in the offseason. Here, and you know what? I'll try to do my best to be a hater here. Let me think. Let me see here. Did the Cowboys? No. Did Washington? They get Chase Young back. Okay. They get Chase Young back. Xander says Howie has had the best offseason of any general manager in the entire NFL. Is that facts? Yeah. I didn't even realize we're at the top here. I got to take a timeout. We're going to try to get Randy Cross from CBS Sports on in hour number 3 at 5:30 Eastern time. Okay? We'll reset everything here again. I'll make the proclamation again. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Been an interesting show here. Hour number 3 here with Big Sills. Thanks for stepping in with us here on this Football Friday. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much, guys. Just pretend when you're hitting, I like that, Ruiz. When you're hitting the like button, it's like you're hitting a cannoli. Okay? We're going to call it the cannoli button. Please hit it. Appreciate it, man. I'm going to reset everything here. I've done something here. And by the way, I want to do it one more time. And I want to ask some of the most educated fans that I know, okay? Israel, thanks for stepping in. You guys are spectacular. Thank you so much, man. Chargers in Buffalo in the AFC Championship game? Sure. Absolutely. I actually like that. Fred, I like that. AFC title game, Chargers in Buffalo. Buffalo wins. I think Buffalo's winning the whole thing, actually. Buffalo, how about this? Buffalo and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Okay? All right, so Randy Cross from CBS Sports is set for 5:30 Eastern time. I'm going to ask a 3-time Super Bowl winner if he thinks I'm nuts. Hey, Dan, does the players pay attention? Of course they do. The entire Eagle organization and other organizations watch our show, man. Of course they do. Mr. International, dude, Josh Allen's a freak show. He needs help, though. He's got to run the rock. They've got to run the ball. They can't have him do this. They can't have him throw for 375 yards, and they can't have him run for 85 yards. You know what I mean? Can't have that. You get that guy killed. Plus, you're looking for longevity. All right. I'm going to ask this question one more time to you guys. Okay? Dude, are we overhyping the Eagles? Wow, look at what Mike just said. That's a great one. Mike, do you think because of the division? That's right, Xander. Xander sees it too. Do you think the NFC is going to run through a team from the NFC East? The Cowboys have the 31st worst record, or easiest, softest schedule, however you look at it. And the Eagles have the 30th. How that worked out, I don't know. The Cowboys won the freaking division. They should have it, should be reversed. But those two teams have the easiest path to a 12-win season. Cowboys and the Eagles have the easiest path. The NFC West is going to be a dogfight. Here, and I even ranked the divisions. I did that, I believe, in hour number 2. Here. AFC East. Let's see. AFC West is number 1. NFC West is 2. AFC North is 3. AFC East is 4. NFC East is 5. NFC South is 6th. NFC North is 7th. And the AFC South is 8. So you're 5th. Go get your shy box, Sileo. Jerry's paying dudes off. Pull up his show 30 days ago, then watch today's show. Chris, it's night and day. You're damn right. But wait a minute, Chris. 30 days ago, put Chris up there. Put Chris up there 30 days ago, then watch today's show. Put Chris up there if you can, Xander. You know why? 30 days ago, the Philadelphia Eagles were different. 30 days ago, the Eagles were not the same team as right now. So it's a different team, Chris. 30 days ago, you were just at the cusp of getting A.J. Brown. Okay? Right? 30 days ago, it's a different team. You didn't have Bradbury. You didn't know who you were taking in the draft. That was a different ball team. See, when people say you flip-flop, that's not flip-flopping, because 30 days ago, the Philadelphia Eagles were a Nissan. Fast forward 30 days, they're a Mercedes-Benz. Completely different ball team. Completely different ball team. So, that's not flip-flopping. That's the Eagles changing the room for us. Changing the conversation. That's right, International. That's right. It's not flip-flopping. The Eagles were different 30 days ago. $30 days ago, the Eagles, watch this. 30 days ago, the Eagles were probably a 10-win ball team and a one-round team. Today, with the additions of the draft and what they've done and all the things that they've addressed, today, the Eagles win the NFC. Look at how you can change your projections and how you could change your direction with a couple smart moves. Good question, Chris. But Chris, watch this one. I'm going to make a prediction on you here on one thing, okay? And I don't know what you'll think about this, but I'm going to make a prediction here. I don't know how much impact Jordan Davis is going to have. I don't. I don't know how much impact he makes. Okay? So, Chris, that was good. You're right. That's a fabulous take, Chris. And that shows you what my show is about. 30 days ago, I said Howie Roseman wasn't doing shit, and I got called on the carpet by the Philadelphia Eagles. They sent me emails and texts, called me out. Why in the world would we put anyone on with you? Why would we, when you sit here and trash our GM and say he hasn't done shit? Because I went like this to a guy that I know, Bob Lang. Bob, because I don't think you have. Okay? Xander goes, they knew what they were about to do the next month. Yeah, because you know what he did? He was patient. You know what he did? He probably really, and I'm talking Howie Roseman, really thought about Honey Badger. And then he went like this with Marcus Epps. I'm going to be okay with Marcus Epps. And you know what he had to make the decision on? Think about how he came to the James Bradbury decision. Let me show you what he did. Do I pay and overpay for an overpriced position in free and I'm not going to do what a Jamal Adams deal like Seattle did. Are you crazy giving that many first rounders up for a safety? Never happened. I'm not drafting a guy, and I don't care what this guy Hamilton and people think of that guy. I'm not drafting a safety in the first round when I could get a guy that's just as comparable in the second or third. Absolutely not. It's one of those positions you don't pay for. You know, Honey Badger going to the Saints, congratulations, you're going home, but they paid $33 million for that guy. I'll take Marcus Epps, and then you know what I'll do? I'll pay for a premium position in a cornerback position because I'm lighting the britches over there at CB2. And I'll give Bradbury $10 million, $3 million off of what he was going to make. 1 year removed from a Pro Bowl appearance. I'll take that kid at 27 years old, more so than a guy who's frequently injured and we're going to overpay. He was right. I'm not paying $33 million for Honey Badger. For a safety? Screw that. Screw that. So he sat back, and you know what he did? He let the chips fall around him. He did. He let the chips fall around him. Waited for the corner to come loose and shake loose because, know this too, because of salary cap, there's going to be more casualties as we get into the July camp. You're going to start to see a couple more guys having to get cut loose. Why? Because there's some teams that are still squeezed against the salary cap. And what happens when you're squeezed against the salary cap getting into July? You have to address need positions, wideouts, corners, left tackles, which you never see on the open market. That's why when Trent Williams and the stupid Washington Commanders traded Trent Williams to the Niners, that was one of the dumbest moves that's been made in the last 10 years. You trade the best tackle in the game to the 49ers who have the best running attack. How stupid can you get? I mean, really. I never thought he did anything. 30 days ago, that was a different team. Philly, thank you, man. Chris, the Bradbury deal is still, it blows my mind because I sit here and say this to you. You couldn't get a seventh rounder for the guy? Now, Howard Balzer was right in the last hour. You know, maybe they just don't want to eat some of the money and that would have been part of it, but you allow him to land in Philly. And do you know that, hey, by the way, you want to hear something crazy? Okay. Do you know that James Bradbury, hey, Eagle fans, he needs you. You know why? He's getting killed on Twitter by Giant fans. He thinks that he did this move for spite. Okay? The New York Giant fans right now think that James Bradbury did this for spite. This just in, I would have. Oh, you don't want to pay me the $13 million you owe me? And you're just going to cut me loose? Well, I'm going to haunt your ass twice. So, that's business. It's not personal. Strictly business. Why would he do it? I don't have to take my kids out of school to probably go to school in New Jersey. I can live in my same house, get a condo right around the NovaCare Center. I'm playing against the same people I played against for the last couple of years. It's a no-brainer for him. He only took a $3 million haircut, and it's a one-year deal where he can prove it. Put himself back on the market next year and go like this. Well, I'm really a $17 million guy. NFC East Beast. New York Giant fans are killing James Bradbury on Twitter. By the way, those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, please do. At Dan Sileo Show. I'd really appreciate it. Dude, seriously, man. I watched it. I know Giant fans. They're killing him. You traitor. You did this out of spite. So, when you feel you get jobbed, you want to make sure that you stick it to your previous employer, but you don't do it with words. You do it with play or performance. Okay? Yeah, hey Ben, big man on betting. I'm guaranteeing you hate the Giants, but they're killing that kid. Oh yeah, hey Paul, that's a great take. Jimmy Butler needed to be a little more last night because that Celtics team took him out. Hey, Andrew goes, Dan, I could see you doing the same thing. You're a spiteful son of a bitch. I think that's the Italian in me, like you said, Paisan. Right? Oh, Philly, they're killing him. They think he did it under spite. They go like this. How could you go to the enemy? Easy. Okay? Brian, thank you, man. That's a compliment, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Don't worry. Hey, don't worry about the Giants. Okay? Xander says, can Bradbury be a bust? Can Bradbury be a bust? I don't think so. Now get this. Everybody's calling. Tony Bruno wants to come on. We'll do Bruno. We'll do Bruno Monday. We'll do Bruno Monday. I'll do Bruno Monday. We got Randy already lined up here. Xander, we'll do Bruno Monday with Gary Cobb. We'll put Tony on Monday. Give it to themselves. Hit the like button. Thank you guys so much, man. Do I think – no, I don't think Bradbury's a bust. Giants game got some – oh, yeah. Hey, no. Look what the Eagles have right now, Sydney. That Washington game. Right? Oh, the Giants – oh, but you see, Eagle fans – you guys don't know that the Giants are talking shit on this guy. He's getting murdered in New York right now. How could you go there? How could you pick them? So you guys got that game. The Wentz Bowl. Remember, Philly had the Wing Bowl. You got now the Wentz Bowl. Let's see. What would be the main appetite? The main plate. Coward pie. I'm kidding. Hey, I'll have a quiche coward pie. Yeah. Right? What do you call it? It's whiny Wentz pie. Yeah. What's it served with? There's nothing in it. There's no flavor. And it's just crust. But what do you serve with it? I don't know. Water. It's crust with like some sort of like gravy on it. You know, it's just crust. There's no body to it. There's no texture to it. It's just Wentz whiny pie. Yeah. Ankle cake. Oh my God. That's it. Carson Wentz, ankle cake. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ankle cake. I've never heard that. My God almighty. Ankle cake. I don't think I've laughed this hard on the air. Oh my God. Yeah, it's served with ginger snacks. Ankle cake served with ginger snacks. Oh my God. And root beer. Not beer, root beer. Ankle cake, ginger snacks, and root beer. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ankle cake. It even sounds messed up. Oh my God. Birdman. Ankle cake? Oh my God. Jesus criminy. Hey, dude, I don't know if I could do a show like this ever on radio, man, but this is too good. And could you imagine? Hey, yeah, we're going to have, here's our menu when Wentz comes to town at the link. Okay, here's when he comes to town. Yeah, we're going to be serving over at the commissary. We're going to be serving ankle cake, ginger snacks, and root beer. Oh, my God. Oh yeah, I forgot. And juju beans. No, J-U beans, not J-E-W beans. Okay? Oh. The ankle cake commander. Oh my God. The ankle cake commander. Boneless ankle wings. Oh my God almighty. Yeah, there's no skin. Just naked wings. Naked ankle wings. Oh my God. Oh. Sills can already taste those cold Coronas. He's going to slug them down. What gave that away? Oh, my God. The ankle cake commander. Oh. Tony Bruno. I love you, T. Little late. I told Xander, everybody, I didn't have anybody today. And now I got, Seth is going, hey, I'll do next week. Okay, so Seth's going to come on next week. Seth Joyner. Oh, the Wentz Cracker Jacks. Oh, my God. This is too much, man. I think I'm hoping that I have put, hey, once again, I want to reset. The Philadelphia Eagles are being predicted by Big Sills to win the NFC. I don't know. Brian, I'm trying to do this. Do I think the Cowboys will? You know what? I think the Cowboys have just as good a chance because of their schedule and the division. Dude, you got to give it, you got to be fair here. The Cowboys have a shot too. Okay? They play the easiest schedule in the league. It's almost like the NFL offices and schedule dudes made it such an easy path for the Cowboys to get to finally in a conference championship game, which they haven't been in 26 years. Ankles are us. Okay? Chris Sims, we'll get him on. Hopefully he's not like at a Max Headroom place where I think Chris has been on twice now. Oh. It's going to be interesting to see what he thinks of Jalen. Mr. International, Dan, listen out. After Carson to that helmet hit, he has never been the same. The concussion commander that likes ankle cake. Hey, Brian says, thank you for picking Philadelphia media. I'm lucky. Things happen. I've been very lucky in my life. You know, and I've told you this before. Okay? My wife says I got a perfect personality for it. All right, I'm going to do something here. And I'm going to talk to my friend Randy Cross, the owner of 3 Super Bowls. And he's probably going to think I'm stupid, I'm crazy, which he probably thinks and he knows already because we've known each other for about 30 years. So let me throw this at him here. Randy, I think because of the way the NFC is so weak this year, I think the Philadelphia Eagles have a great shot at winning the NFC this year. Do you?
I think they got a shot, especially after that draft they had. This is one of my, and I mean this in an amusing way, favorite times of the year, because I always call it sort of the silly season, because now's when you get your mythical Lombardis and you get your mythical MVPs and all that stuff. That's this time of the year. When everybody says, okay, over under for number of wins, Philly 10, 9.5, or whatever. The reason we have so many different coaches or guys that have been head coaches in the NFL, as you know, is the stuff that's out of their control. Injuries are out of their control. A lot of stuff like that is out of their control. The players' motivation is kind of out of their control at times. Philly's got a shot. I think they're comfortable with the quarterback. That's a big deal. I think their defense got better. We'll see. I mean, it's just, if you take care of that quarterback, that's going to be a major part of that.
Randy, and the reason I'm doing that is because they got the 30th easiest schedule. Their division is not that. They got Dallas in it, maybe an improved Washington team. We don't know. They add A.J. Brown. They get an edge rusher. They address needs in the draft, and they get this James Bradbury kid floating in on them for $10 million. It was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago. He's 27 years old. They've addressed every single need they can. Now, health, war of attrition, as you know, Randy, right? The quarterback play, all of that plays into it. But of all the teams in the offseason in the NFC, here, I'll go to your team. To me, the biggest problem I have with the 49ers is their indecision at quarterback. Who would have thought you don't know who your quarterback is for September? And what the management's saying, Lance, the coaching staff is saying Jimmy G. There's so indecision on that. To me, that's a problem. That's noise. So there's a problem there. Tampa. Okay, coaching change. Will it be a factor? I don't know. Could there be a nuance in play calling? I don't know. Age. I'm not saying Brady, but the other guys on the other side of the ball. There's just so much. And like you said, this is the time of the year where everybody's undefeated. Everybody has a Super Bowl parade here. But I think Philly's been really just aimed in a positive direction ever since the end of the 2021 season.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And I think, that's what I came away from the draft. Just a couple of impressions were if your team has predominantly green in their uniform, you had a hell of a draft.
Jets.
The Jets got a lot better. The Eagles got a lot better. You can look at teams and go, okay, that improved them. And you don't even really know about the rest of the draft, but you look at the top of the draft, and especially the Jets in their first two, Philly in their first two. You're going to run inside on Philly now? I don't think so. So that's a big deal. That type of thing it's easy to get excited about for those teams. And the NFC East, Washington has no clue. Dallas is nothing new. Dallas hasn't had any kind of a clue since Jerry figured he was smarter than Jimmy. He was wrong. He was wrong then, and 30 years later, some bitch, he's still wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy, but and I don't know. It's going to be fun. That's why everybody, I'm like you. That's why you look at a team like Philly and you say, gosh, there's a pretty good chance that, worst case scenario, they're sitting there as number 2 horse in that race.
You live in Georgia, and I want to get your thoughts on Nakobe Dean. Your thoughts on them getting him in the 3rd round, the Eagles. I mean, I thought he was a centerpiece on what could have been one of the best it is one of the best defenses I've seen in college football history. With all those first-rounders, they got guys on there that are going to go in the first round in this next April draft too. I mean, they're just loaded over there with Kirby Smart. You being there and around it and listening to people talk about Nakobe Dean, what kind of player do you think the Eagles got with that player?
A steal. I mean, how that guy lasted where he did, I've got no idea. He must have answered a couple of questions wrong in his interviews at the combine that people didn't like. Because if you're looking for a prototype, I mean, you're a guy that's going to play inside, whatever you want to name him. In today's NFL, you got to be a hybrid. You got to be the guy that could do the safety work, and you got to be the guy that can do the linebacker work. And, take a picture of Nakobe Dean. That's what he does. Is he the right height? No. Neither was London Fletcher. Is he the right weight? No. But he can run. He goes to the ball well. He's a very precise tackler. He covers well. He's got a great kind of spatial awareness when it comes to getting into coverages. No, I really like him. I think they hit a home run. They got a first rounder in the third round.
Is this comparison fair? I mean, he's maybe a tick under the height of Derek Brooks, but he kind of reminds me of Derek Brooks when he came, because Derek, when he came out of Florida State, 6'2.5", about 208, 215, like in that realm. He was a perfect for Tony Dungy because he plays in that Tampa 2, where you almost got to be kind of like a Wolverine back there a little bit, where you're playing the run, you're covering tight ends, you could get back in pass coverage for that Tampa 2 defense. That's kind of what he is, and I see that's what Jonathan Gannon, the defensive coordinator, kind of has to use him at. And those tackles in front of him kind of resemble what they did with the Bulldogs, too. You got big dudes in front of him where he can scrape down the lane there. So, am I right? Do you think that comparison's in there?
Yeah, I think it's pretty legit. I mean, it's a heavy load for Dean, yes. But to get that kind of comparison. But he's not the tallest guy in the world, and he's not the biggest guy in the world. But if you watch that football at all, that football team the last 2 years, 2 years ago, he just exploded off the screen when you watched him on defense. The only reason he didn't explode quite as much, well, you learned why he didn't explode quite as much last year, because there were 5 first-round draft picks on that D. But yeah, he's got that kind of talent. He's like I said, I think he's a first-round kind of guy that is perfect for this style. Everyone talks about, who really wants to run a 3 yards in a cloud of dust offense these days? Nobody. They're all running basically 7-on-7 that they have to use fat guys in.
You have to utilize, Randy, today's NFL rules. And, I mean, throw the ball down the field. You're going to get PI. I mean, I was talking to Jaws the other day, and Jaws went like this. If I was a quarterback in today's NFL, I'd never run the ball. I would just pass the ball, screens, middle screens, some maybe, some running.
Yeah. Well, I mean, watch Shanahan, watch Reed. I mean, those guys line up with quads right. They'll motion and stop, and then motion, and I mean, they drive people nuts. But it's all about stretching this way on a defense. Down the field's great, because down the field will give you some chunks and they'll give you some penalties. But they stretch that defense that way, and suddenly now you're having to pursue, and that's why you've got to have the skill sets that some of these young guys that linebacker have to have.
A couple questions on this war going on between Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher. You cover college football for CBS. Here was my take Here was my take on it. Nick was talking to boosters, and what he was telling those guys was this: hey, look, the game's changed. Texas A&M, they bought almost their entire draft or their entire recruiting class. USC now, they just got a kid from Pitt who won the Bolitnikoff Award. I'm just telling you, the game has changed here. And his mistake was singling out Jimbo and Dion, but his intention was hating the game and not the player. Am I right in how I'm seeing it? He's wrong. He's completely wrong in doing it. How did you see it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he admitted he was wrong, but I think he also, in case of mistaken identity, we got him confused with somebody that cares. To use a military type term, he's very familiar when it comes to PR of firing for effect. And nothing he says or does is by accident. And I don't care what he said afterwards yesterday. He knew exactly what he was doing. he knew exactly what kind of a response that we'd get out of Jimbo because Jimbo used to work for him.
Yep.
He knows Jimbo really well. He knows Dabo. He knows all those guys. And you mentioned Addison. Kind of funny that the hottest free agent in college football lands at SC through a portal move while this happens, and it's like a pine cone dropping in the forest. No one hears the shot. No one hears. I mean, all of a sudden you read it online. It's like Addison went to SC.
You think Nick was aiming it at that?
I think it had something to do with that.
Somewhere else?
I think it had something to do with the motion. I tell you, talk to people in football, and we've had this conversation before, but in college football, it is a crime, and I mean it should be a crime, as a lot of things these days we see happening should be crimes, but they're not. It should be a crime what's going on in college football. No one's running college football. No one has a say. The NCAA is completely toothless. They're toothless. They can't enforce squat. You know, who's running this thing? It should be, what we should have is we should have a power group. You know, like the National Football Foundation that runs the playoff system.
Yeah.
They should be in charge of college football. They run the money, they run the bowls, they run everything else. Put them in charge. Say, okay, you know what? We've got 130 teams, right? Well, we're going to go with 80 every year. 50 of y'all are going to get relegated every year. It's up to you, because those 50 teams don't get the same cut as everybody else. They have the rules. They run recruiting. They run the transfer portal. They put those rules out. Without that, this whole Wild Wild West thing doesn't work. And that's part of what Nick was trying to say, I think, was there are no rules. I love Dion's reaction. He was fantastic. I paid somebody $1 million. Hell, I don't make $1 million.
Wait, I want to read you this. Now, know this: Jalen Hurts in Philly makes $1.25 million. Let me read you the top 5 guys, Randy, in college football. The NIL evaluators have put the salaries here. Spencer Rattler, South Carolina, $1.2 million. Will Anderson, Bama, $1.3 million, number 4. Number 3, Caleb Williams, USC, $1.7 million, quarterback. Number 2, CJ Stroud, Ohio State, $2.5 million. And number 1 is Bryce Young, $3.5 million. Nick's got 2 guys in the top 5. One guy's making 1.3 and the other guy's making 3. Randy, Bryce Young makes more than Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts combined.
Yeah, no, it is a bizarro, like, opposite universe right now in college football when you start looking at that. Because remember, they can't directly get money, but now they are. And it's all pretense is dropped, and without rules and without structure, it's going to be a rough, bumpy ride for a year or two. But, you know, that's part of, I think, what Nick's trying to say in a lot of ways. And I'm not reading words into what he said or trying to put words in his mouth, but he, like everybody else, at least that I talk to that's associated with college football, they're worried because the stories you hear are nothing. The real stories are not hitting the media right now. If you were to hear, it would curl your hair to hear some of the stories about some of the transactions and how this stuff is going down. It's, you know, even for us. I saw that Twitter picture you put out with you and your Corvette from Miami.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, hey, Randy, this is what people would do in our community. They would come with a brown paper bag with $10,000 in it, and these boosters would come up to me. And how I got that Corvette, a president of Sun Bank Trust came to me who was an alumni booster, which, by the way, was illegal then, and he gave me a loan for $35,000. Jimmy Johnson signed my Lloyd's of London policy. I got the car, and I'm going like this. Can you imagine what's like going on behind the scenes today? I mean, There's no question. Can you imagine what Bosworth, the Deion Sanders, and Playmaker would be? Oh, my God. But like you said, the deals behind the table must be insane.
Yeah, because if that little list you just read, That's not even accounting for a kid like Quinn Evers, who went from Ohio State, gave up his senior year, went to Ohio State, practiced, did some spot duty, and now he's back at Texas. You think he did that out of the goodness of his heart?
Hell no. Hell no, man. Hey, how about this, Randy? SMU, I wonder what they're thinking today. They were doing all of this stuff back in the 80s, man, and paying all those kids off. They dropped that team on probation, and I'm like, man, those guys, they just must be looking at it going, we were doing this 35, 40 years ago. Randy, have a great weekend.
Dan, that was when they had rules.
Oh,
now it's a scene from Blazing Saddles. Rules? We don't need no stinking rules.
Rules? Sorry, I missed that one. My friend, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Randy Cross from CBS Sports. Hey, my friends, Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. And choosing an attorney is one of the most important things that you could possibly do if you're hurt or you're injured on the job. For the people, it's not just a slogan. It's who they are. It's what they are. For the past 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been defending their clients like no other firm in the country. That's right. That's what John Morgan and his people do. They have been protecting their clients for over 30 years. $13 billion, 800 strong attorneys in offices in Philly, New York, Florida, all across the country, making sure when people say this, it's just a fender bender. Not at Morgan & Morgan. No case is too small. They will not be intimidated, and size matters. Look, the consultation is free. 800-512-1600. The call is free. 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do me a favor and please call them. And when you do it, tell them Big Sil sent you.
Many times when people are injured at a place of business, they don't realize they may have a case. The fact is, injuries should not happen. And most of the time when someone is injured, someone is at fault. Maybe the store manager installed a cheap, slippery floor, or there wasn't proper security. After an injury at a hotel, restaurant, store, or any place of business, it's so important to call us. Time matters, size matters. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
Stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really. Don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake a mom. Mama go up, up.
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh. Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
I'm already starting to get killed on social media for picking the Eagles to win the NFC. Welcome back. Appreciate you coming aboard with us. By the way, Tony Bruno and Gary Cobb on Monday, they will join us. Sydney says, Jadeveon Clowney, Jesse Bates, Landon Collins, Julio Jones, Beckham, Foles still available. Food for thought. Sydney, they're at $7 million right now next to the cap. I don't know how much money they have when it comes to getting a Jadeveon Clowney or a Bates. Okay? I don't think they can afford those guys. They're right now squeezed against the cap. I don't know if there's a lot more room to maneuver around. Okay? This is Tony Bruno. Okay, good. Tony Bruno's on Monday. So the legend himself. I go like this. So you get better and you go on with Angelo and not Big Sills? He's like, they called me. I didn't see it. I saw yours late. I said, oh, it's all right. I said, he's leaving. Big Sills is hanging around for a little bit more. Okay? To the chagrin of some. To the chagrin of some. Hey, real quick here. Get some of the Eagles staff on. Hey, Fred, I'm working on it. Tracy Rocker goes like this. How old is your ass? I act like I'm 19, Xander. You think I look like a 57-year-old dude or act like it? Give me a break. He's such a punk to me sometimes. Who's 65 yet? Angelo's like 85. I heard that. Nah, I won't do it. I was only kidding. I like Angelo. I do. I love him. I hear he puts his teeth in every segment, but it's all good. Don't say I said that. Okay? Just for you, Big Sills, because I laughed so hard at you, at how hard you laughed. Ankle cake. Dude, hey, thank you, man. That's awesome of you, brother. Dude, brittle bit. Wentz's brittle bits. Dude, ankle cake. You are a legend. You are a legend. Okay? The Ganny cannoli roll. Dude, I'll tell you what. Can't afford them. Can't afford them, dude. Thank you, Sydney. That's awesome too, man. Hey, do you think Nakobe Dean can play safety in the NFL, bro? 4.340? Special dime package? Brian, that ain't that off. I was going to call you an idiot. Brian, I don't know if you're that far. 4.34. He wants a 4.3, right? Like 4.3 or 4.4? I don't think that's that whack now I think about it. Right? Xander looks 17. Yeah. It must be the mountain oysters he eats. He eats these cow balls or something, or these buffalo balls or something. Philip says 4.38. Yeah, like that health food stuff. You rub it on your face and your couillons, and I don't know. He's into health and such. Yeah, I was into health a long time ago. I ate my health. Yeah, he puts all the lotions on and shit and all that. Yeah, I'm sure. It's all good. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah. Such a guy. Boy, safety, man. I don't know. Package, put him up there in that. Runs a 4.3. Okay, a guy can play multiple positions for you there. Guy could play multiple positions. Yeah, I like that. Hey, by the way, have you guys seen this article or this story going on with J.J. Redick said about Bob Cousy? That Bob Cousy played against firemen and plumbers? He did. It's a white guy beer drinking league back when Cousy played. That's not to diminish. The league was young. When sports is young, it was white guy. You don't really think Major League Baseball is Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball wasn't Major League Baseball until probably 1960. You got white guys in the league, and there were only white guys. And he had a couple black guys from 47, Doby and Robinson and Newcomb, and then he started adding more Mays and Aaron. But you have to know why the National League dominated the American League from 1960 all the way until 1975 in the All-Star game? Because the National League put African Americans in the sport. The Red Sox didn't have a black guy on their team until 1960. That was 13 years after the color line was broke. You don't really think baseball with all them white guys playing against white guys was baseball. I mean, come on, man. Sports has evolved because people's eyes opened more. The National Football League didn't allow black guys in the sport. Baseball didn't allow black guys in the sport. I never would want to play in a sport that wasn't with versification in it, where you're playing against the best people on the planet. I would never want to be involved. Like swimming is a white guy country club sport to me. Okay? It's a white guy country club. Polo? Really? How many polos you think are in South Philly? Okay? I'm not playing in anything like that. Why do you think when the Winter Olympics are around, African Americans don't watch that? They're not represented. I want to be in a sport that everybody represents it. How many pictures have you seen of me when I post them? I'm the only white guy here. I love that fact because I'm playing against the best players on the planet. Okay? No color wasn't a factor for me. Never was. Those are the sports I want to be in. Playing a white guy. Someone goes, what do you make of Michael Phelps? Oh, he was a hell of a swimmer at your dad's country club. And then what did he do later on? Play cricket? I'm out. Dude, those are country club golfers? Really? Golfers. And I'm good at the thing. Golfers. Nah, I'm all right. I want to hit somebody. Oh man. Dude, Henry Aaron is my greatest interview. He's one of my favorite athletes of all time. Philip, my wife was my producer, and she got Henry Aaron on. He was at his BMW dealership, and I was so privileged to talk to him. What a freaking legend. You know who he said had it tougher than Jackie Robinson? Clemente. Because Clemente couldn't speak the English when he came to America. He thought Roberto had it tougher. Had baseball cards named Bob Clemente. Everyone in the dugout, the Pirates was going, who's that? And Roberto used to get so pissed off at the media in Pittsburgh, at the Gazette, because they'd call him Bobby because they wanted a white in his name. Henry Aaron would be like, he was very, very tough to get around. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, well, yeah, Mike and those guys got a reality check when Russell and Wilt showed up. Right, changed the game. You're starting to get Willis Reed. And as the 70s, then you got Jabbar. And you started seeing some of the African Americans being allowed more to play in the game. And you know why that was? Because the ABA was taking all the African Americans in, like Dr. J and Artis Gilmore. They had all the great black players. Moses Malone. By the way, you know, Malone played in the ABA, I believe, for the Virginia Squires before he got to the NBA with Houston. And then I believe he went to Philly from Houston. And I think he went back to Houston after Philly, too. Yeah. I love that, man. Oh, and he's right, though. NBA in the 60s. Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, right. Okay. That's why I watch the ABA. I watch the ABA because of all the great basketball players that were in it. Brian, thank you for coming aboard, man. We had such a fabulous day today. I laughed so hard today. Ankle cake. I don't know what the hell that means. No, by the way, Xander's going to put that thing up at 6 o'clock too, man. I'm predicting that the Philadelphia Eagles win the NFC, not the East, the NFC. Oh, God, why would I have done that? Hit the like button. Monday, Tony Bruno, Gary Cobb, they will be with us. Plethora of other guys. Seth Joyner will join us next week as well. We appreciate everybody coming aboard, and we'll see you on the flip side. Have a great weekend.